Good morning, everyone. This is Ariane Olshansky, and today we have Steph Harty from the Indie Alley in Fairfax, California with us today. Hi, Steph.
Hi.
Thank you so much for being with us today. I really, really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Can you please tell us a little bit about yourself and the Indie Alley?
Sure. So let's start with the Indie Alley.
Okay.
I'm terrible about talking about myself. We're actually really great about it, which makes it terrible for everybody. So the Indie Alley is a co-working space, and it was sort of born out of my fantastic knack of choosing to shelter in all on my own, right? I was basically just so messed up, anxiety ridden, kind of let me just be a recluse for a little while until I get my act together. And so it took me 13 years of working from home and just trying to piece my life together and figure out ways to manage stress. And then I realized just how unhealthy it became for me to live my life like that. So I went to the other extreme and opened up a community center. So what we do here is we have offices and co-working space so that people can come in and feel one another's energy and connect. And we've developed a beautiful community, which I miss desperately now. I thought that I would be able to manage this a little bit better because I did make that choice for a while to, shelter in. And now that I can't have that community, it stings, it's really hard. I got very used to, again, feeling other people's energy and being able to be energized as a result of that. So staying motivated and focused has become a bit of a challenge. And so now I'm trying to figure out ways to keep the community intact.
And what are you doing to do that?
So just like everybody else, we're trying to virtually connect, and we're trying to come up with programs that allow people or give them a forum to communicate with one another. So we have a program called Let's Lunch, where we invite people to come in and we just sit down and have lunch with one another and talk. We have a program called Adult Swim, so that you literally need to figure out a way to get your kids somewhere else and out of your hair so you can have human connection with another adult, because I think we're all struggling with that, trying to homeschool kids and keep them entertained and fed. And apparently I'm supposed to feed my kids. I mean, this is really becoming a problem because I'm not the best cook, but peanut butter and jelly every day, okay. So Adult Swim, which we do 4 days out of the week, and some other programming as well that that's being moderated by different people from different backgrounds and expertise. Our virtual membership affords people to be able to come into the community and actually talk to our community about what it is that they do and how they can help at this time. And then tonight we have a Netflix party set up that we're using with the Chrome extension, and it allows people to watch the film at the same time and then chat afterward, because I like going to the movies on Friday nights. It's kind of a jam and can't do that. So this is a way for people to connect with in an otherwise a time when people like to let loose and relax and have the end of the week be shared with other people. So yeah, I mean, we're just trying to shift everything onto the interwebbies, which has been challenging for me because I am not good at the computery stuff. So it's been an education process as well. And I'm actually grateful for that. To be able to push and learn is always something that I've loved. And now, as much as I have resisted doing it over the computer, because I'm very tactile. I like to hug, I like to touch, I like to see people,
Mm-hmm.
and connect that way. This will do.
Mm-hmm.
This
So
will do.
you sort of talked a little bit about some of the good things that are coming out of this,
Yeah.
and I wanted to have you expound a little bit more on that. What opportunities and insights have you found, even through these challenging days, um, that that are surprising to you?
So one of the things that actually has been very, not necessarily surprising, but has really been reinforced is that my kids spend too much time on their devices. And because there hasn't been a lot for them to do in terms of play dates and getting out of the house, they're doing that even more. And I've had to shut that down and really moderate that because it affects their sleep. They're almost little addicts, right? And so my daughter even said to me, Mommy, I'm addicted to my computer. I need you to take it away from me because I'm not feeling well. Um, yeah, which was really stunning. And so then, even though my son thought he was doing just fine, I took his away from him too. So that has been God, such a challenge. To then, I have to supplement and make sure that they have activities that are healthy, that are nurturing, um, and I absolutely love being with them. I really, really do. And connecting with them has been beautiful. Doing things that I always pushed off and was like, oh, I don't have time. I have to get you to school. And then I pick you up from school, but then I got to get back to work. And then I got to get you, like, now there's time. And I think it's amazing. I didn't think about it like that. And then maybe at some point in a few weeks, you get back to me and be like, oh my God, can't do this anymore. I really know my kids well enough. Get that out of
Right, right, right.
But I've found that my daughter and I have connected in ways that I've missed. She's a teenager now. And so for a minute, she was sort of testing that, like, I need my own space. And she's now wanting to talk to me. And it's just been lovely. It's been absolutely lovely. I'm happy with
Yeah.
that.
I've heard a few people comment on sort of the connection that they're creating with their children, that really is a surprising revelation and thing that's happening.
Yeah, my
Um,
kids are cool.
it's so
They're pretty
awesome.
neat. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really amazing that we have this and that we're experiencing that. That's fantastic. I'm really
Yeah.
happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Um, is there something, one of the protocols or one of the things that you've created during this time that you think you'll maintain and keep in place that's really working out well for you in the
What you mean with my children or just in general?
Well, in general, or both, either way. Yeah.
I think that we're forced now to really brush up on some time management skills and prioritize. Um, we as a society are so socialized to push, 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 and work hard and work as much as you can and not really stop. And it's really been great to slow that down and say, oh, wait a minute. Um, that's not right. We really just need to have a moment to be mindful and to be able to appreciate this new liberty that we have. Some people are still trying to figure that piece out, and it doesn't have to happen for them right away. Everyone's going to do this at their own pace. But my hope is that that there will be that revelation for others to say, okay, I do have time to do this in a way that I can connect in ways that I haven't done before, that have always been available, but I haven't prioritized it. So now there's time where we sit down and we have meals with one another, and I love it. I love it, and I love watching my children talking to one another. And it's not that they haven't gotten along before, but they've really bonded now. And that hopefully will carry on
Mm-hmm.
once we get through this, because that's a relationship that they need to cherish for the rest of their lives.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, what is one thing that you've learned about yourself that you were not aware of before this happened?
Man, um, that I actually enjoy eating well and and moving. And I'm not like an exercise person, but um, I really just love fresh air.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
I have the propensity to be a homebody. I have the propensity to work myself to the bone, and um, and the mind is just so interesting in that you don't um, when you can't have something, you really want it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned to be cognizant of that now because um, I just really didn't think about that much before, and so um, I'm just slowing down, and it's great.
I'm
It
really,
really is great.
I'm so happy to hear that. I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah.
What do you think the key will be for you to continue that feeling in the next? Because I think that school has actually been called off for the rest of the
Yeah,
year officially.
yeah.
So, what do you think you need to do to keep that sort of inspired thought and feeling in the next month or two?
Month or two. It
You
could be
know,
the foreseeable future, right? I mean,
yeah.
every day we're being inundated with new information and how all of these social distancing measures are being extended. And I think the longer we get into this and the more we become accustomed to it and set up our routines, it's going to be easier for me to transition and realize, oh wait, all of these things, the meals together, the walks together, the time sharing things that we never felt we had time to really think about how this is affecting us psychologically and how we have been able to, as families, become more interconnected. Than it's not just the DNA that makes us the same. It's so many other layers that keep us connected. And how am I going to see that through to the other side? I don't see another way of living my life after this. Obviously, you don't want there to be any pain and suffering. You don't want for anybody to lose a life or to lose a loved one. But there's so much beauty that can actually come out of this. And I'm just trying to stay positive and focus on those things. Um,
Are you
I,
letting yourself feel the feels though when you feel them?
oh my God, yeah. My anxiety and my stress are pretty brutal. And those are triggers for me. I've always been very open about this, but I'm bipolar. And so stress is a massive trigger. And I have caught myself going, okay, is my reaction matching the situation? And how do I tamp down when I'm feeling overwhelmed? Um, it's, I'm incredibly emotional and my moods can be pretty volatile. So now I'm doing things I haven't done before. Uh, Staying still, you
Mm-hmm.
know, trying to coach my mind to stop some of the thoughts that and the negative thinking and the sort of patterns that I've had in as long as I can remember of just going to some darker places um, and just trying to retrain the brain, to be a little bit more kind to myself. And when I slow down, because I tend to actually be more manic than I am the other side. But when I slow down and actually appreciating the little things, this has been really good training for that because I've never really had the time. I've worked off of my manic energy to keep up the work and plow through things. And the meds, they work sometimes.
Yeah.
Yep. Uh,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but really like understanding that I can rely on myself a little bit better than maybe I have had the time to in the past has been pretty enlightening.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
really exciting.
The mental health piece throughout this is really going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
There are going to be a lot of people who are going to have to deal with some emotions that they may have put by the wayside.
Mm-hmm.
Relationships in general. I make the really sick joke that it's a good thing that my husband and I separated when we did, because that's saving a life right now. You know,
Right. For
as a
all, I love that. I love that. But for all of those people who are struggling in that space that you're referring to, what advice do you have for them besides just, the techniques that you've just shared with us that you do? What advice do you have for them in
it's
this
okay.
moment?
It's okay. I mean, everyone says, "Oh, you're not alone." You really aren't. There are resources out there. If you are feeling that panic and that anxiety that you're not familiar with, acknowledge it and do something about it right away, because it will fester and it gets worse. And so don't resist it, feel it, acknowledge it, and get help. Get help. And, your friends are there, right? And if they're not, then guess what? They're not your friends.
That's true.
Some people have the bandwidth and the aptitude to manage my my sort of wackiness. Apparently, it's some people think it's very charismatic the way that I behave. I find that fascinating, but some of your friends won't have the skill set to cope with it, right? I didn't mean that they're not your friends. They just, you have to understand that on the other side, it's challenging as well. So if you don't have that immediate support in the group of people that you tend to rely on for other things, there's other help. And it's so much more readily accessible than it has been, within even the last 5 years.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for sharing that. And my last question to you is, how can we support you and the Indie Alley going forward as a community? What can we do to support you?
So everyone's in trouble right now. All small businesses are in trouble, and and so are just people who are out there that want to support that may not have the means to do so. So certainly wouldn't want anybody to feel obligated to bail me out. But it is a passion for me to keep this alive, and I am looking for ways to generate the revenue to be able to keep the lights on. And we're just doing that for with virtual memberships and trying to build our community in that way. And so I also don't want anyone to feel like they can't be a part of the community if they can't afford to be a part of the virtual membership. So anybody that wants to do it that doesn't have the means, they should contact me directly at hello@theindyalley.com. And of course, you're welcome. Everybody needs the connection, and I want to give that. I want to be able to afford that to everybody. And if you do have the means, then please, I'm just kidding.
Begging's totally allowed.
Yeah, exactly. But I am, busy at trying to educate myself about the programs that are out there with, small business loans, and making sure that the people, the community that I have here are aware, because most of us are entrepreneurs and small business owners, and communicating that. And I'm sure that we'll run some workshops about those things as well. And then, a lot of this is about personal sacrifice. And I had a friend of mine that came into the Indie Alley the other day. Don't worry, we kept the 6 feet social distancing effect in order, who said that you don't realize how rich you are until you're able to give to others. And so he's been taking money out of his pocket and giving it to people who just don't have it. And it makes him feel rich doing that. and it's beautiful, and I think that, just Fairfax in general, there are a lot of people here who have that generosity, that have that um, willingness to feel good by paying things forward, if you would. I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but that really inspired me to say, oh, you know what? I'm going to make it. I'm going to figure out the way. But people in the service industry, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Right.
Yeah.
It's a really tough decision, but I love that. You're right. It's really beautiful how he's doing that, and how he feels the sense of abundance to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And what a lovely thing that he's doing for the community.
So beautiful.
I love it. I just wanted to say, just to the people who are listening, that if you do need help, please reach out. Please contact me. I can help you with your fears and anxieties, or can point you in the right direction. So you can go to Ariane Olshansky Coaching. I also have the Quarantine Quest, which was a 3-day challenge I did last week, which was to help with the journey of fear as we go through this time. And so there are some resources, free resources for you right there to look at, and then just stay connected, everyone. And Steph, I'm so grateful for you. And
I'm so grateful for you. This was such
I,
a beautiful idea.
thank you. And I love the Indie Alley. I've spent some time there and I love it, and will continue to spend time there
Thank you.
in
I
the
look forward
future.
to touching you.
Yes, exactly. Hugging. But thank you so much for your time and your insights, and good luck with everything.
Thank you.
And we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, sounds great.
All right. Thank you,
Bye.
Steph. Bye.